Boom. It's the part where we game. Angry skittering. Hiss! 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 Give me 1 minute. I'm still setting stuff up. Sup, gamers? Alright, let's see what's going on here. Shirt's dirty as fuck. Don't even have a Hawaii shirt on. Shaking my fucking head, fam. I skitter at you? Why are you skittering at me? I didn't do nothings. I've done literally nothing wrong. So, I'm pretty sure this was... Rom asking me to review these for Sen, which is no problem, but I'm trying to make sure that my internet connection's like trying to be like fucking stable and whatnot. So we're gonna see if it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but it should. So game one. This looks like 37s. And they have special weapons on. That's interesting. So it's HPA versus TLS. So the cool thing about HPAs is they one-hit quit. These were SPW off and I was running damage on these missiles. Okay, so this was special weapons off, clarification. And these are just standards buffed normally. Yeah, so Sen's already at lower speed than normal, which is fine. But yeah, that was some very nice, like, flying right there. One of the things you have to look out for in standards is whenever you're fighting in a furball with someone, the minute that you deviate even slightly outside of that furball, like just a little bit, is you might get hit by looped missiles. I actually do this in my fight against Bleak a while ago if you wanted to look up some reference material on that. It was two F-22s versus each other with special weapons off. And one of the ways I was able to hit him was with guns and with data link looped missiles, which was pretty nice. So whenever you, like I said, whenever you deviate outside of that furball, just make sure that you're not popping out too much. Because once the missiles start flying, you want to stay close. Yeah, like, one of the things you also don't want to do is PSM going downwards, if you can avoid it. Because if you PSM going downwards, your plane has to fight really hard to come out of that. See right here, you PSM as you're heading downwards, and your plane has to fight quite literally every single other direction as it has to come out of that PSM. So whenever you try to boost back down and out of it, it's just ready to hit you every time. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is you know how to PSM. That's not a problem. A little bit of a problem with knowing when to PSM, but everyone has that issue when they're first starting out. But the thing is, when you get your boost, it's like you don't know what to do with it. It's like you could be taking really aggressive angles right here, like coming back around on him. But you also have to be aware, like the main thing is whenever you do boost, you have to be aware of where you're going to end up. And if like when you've been playing a while, you know how to roll into it and extend it, and you know how to cancel it to just cut it out immediately and do another one. So it's pretty tough. But I think it's something you'll get down as if you do more of. Another thing I want to touch on is yeah, like see, going out of the fur ball, I get tagged by just regular looped missiles. That was a good hit. You can hit people coming out of PSM if they don't really know like when they're gonna come on, and that's actually one of your strong points is shooting people in like head-ons because you learn a lot of that from playing Rafal games. So you know the angles you can take as you're coming around on somebody. So that's really nice. It really helps you out, like learning whenever you do learn your Rafal and like you bring that skills into these kind of matches. So I like that. That's something I really like. Rip, you were just too slow there. One of the things is when you slow down too much for PSM, people can just tag you with missiles if they're just coming at you because they have like more than enough homing capability if you're really slow. I would unironically seeing you doing better in like snap PSM planes. Doesn't look like the driftiness does you many favors. Sen, you should pick up the 47 or the MTD. You can also pick up the TGM F-18 if you feel like it. But I think that plays much more into what your kind of play style is. You're like one of the only people I would recommend not using the 37 with. Because quite frankly, it seems like you would do better in something that snaps and just rolls it right out of the way. Sen is somebody who is a perfect example of somebody who would do better in a plane that turns harder in a snappier. You see, not only is Rev like a little bit faster than you are in terms of boosting, they know a little bit more about positioning than you do. It's not like this is an unfair fight. It's just one that's stacked, just a couple stacks higher in Rom, not Rev's favor. My bad. I mean, other than that, you do perfectly fine here. Yeah, yeah, I made a mistake, but I did correct it. Yeah, like here you PSM to get away from them, but when you end up, like what you do is you end up right back where you started. You see? One of these PSMs you do, you PSM and then you end up right back to where you originally were, which was ROM right behind you. See? Rip. But I think that's more or less the first game. Like, I mean, other than the tips I gave you, yeah, other than the tips I gave you, I mean, you're doing fine as is. The only thing I would recommend is it doesn't seem that you would like the 37 very much. Just from watching you play, I think you would do a lot better in the SMTD, the TGM F18, or F47. Let's see game two. Hey, what's up? I mean, Reload 2 is viable, I guess, but I would rather run gun damage, because some people are just fucking cracked with it, and it's just disgusting. Lock speed helps too when you're playing hard defense, but I mean, it's all personal preference in the end. But yeah, like I was telling other people, like when and where you PSM are just as important as, you know, how good you can boost and shit like that, so. Just being really aggressive. If you're really aggressive on the high Gs before you get to them versus them getting to you, you got to be way more aware of the missiles. Like, see, look here, look, you're losing a ton of speed. You're basically saying, I want to PSM before you and get in a better spot. But the point is, ROM doesn't have to do that. ROM is just like, okay, fuck you. I PSM first, even as you're trying to decelerate, and you get hit anyways. See, like here, normally the MTD has like an advantage over the 37. But the thing is, when you're playing with somebody who is playing a slower game, you have to match their pace if you want to do alignments and hit shots on them as well. It's why games that are in super planes are a lot faster movement wise, but they still match speeds. For example, if I were fighting somebody in like a Raven or something, I would be moving almost just as fast as they are, just to keep up and get lucky hits and alignments and stuff. See, like here, Rev has a lot of power for the PSM in terms of being snappy. So it in a way it kind of hurts them a bit because if they were fighting a plane that was just as fast as they were, it'd feel more even. Let's try out TGM Hornet soon. Yeah, that'll work. I mean, it's still really good. But yeah, look at this. He's so aggressive on the low speed here. Want to get that PSM first at any cost. Yeah. I mean, it's a good kill. Perfectly fair. I think that's the one time it really worked out for you. I'm just saying that it's not, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that you're doing. I'm saying that you should be more aware of it because people who know what you're doing are going to take advantage of you right out of the gate. It's funny because if you watch Rom and I fight, it's much faster. Funny enough. It was fun. I was mainly there to just show him how a faster opponent is whenever you're fighting them. That and he reminded me how bad I'm out of practice. But I mean, I hardly do this anymore because where I used to be, if to make it have it make sense, where I used to be, everyone's gun aim is so fucking cracked now that it's just not fun anymore. Honestly, to me personally. But yeah, like I said, I'll go over it after the end of this video. It shouldn't take too long, but I mean, other than time getting your PSM down and a couple of other tips, along with a different plane to use, I think you'd be very solid. Like in terms of your play, like yeah, I can definitely use like a lot more tightening up, but the thing is, Um, I just don't think you have a lot of experience under your belt doing this. You understand the concept, you understand what you should be doing, but actually applying those concepts to an actual fight is a lot tougher than it's a lot tougher doing it than talking about it, really. I've pretty much seen all that I need to see. So number one thing here is your consistency for PSM. Like that's fine. That's what you should have learned. You learned it. It's good enough to stand up to anybody else who can fight. No, it's where you have been building on habits. But the problem is that those habits, they're not bad. They're just different than what somebody who would traditionally learn would be. So instead of teaching you different habits, I'm going to teach you how to lean into those habits to make that kind of play better. Because while your play is different than someone who is very traditional in the way that they fight for PSM, it's not nothing new. Does that make sense? It's like people who run around with SU-37, they've prioritized smoothness, and then there's people who run around with like snap kind of PSM planes. So for you, number one thing I would recommend if you don't want to learn how to like do the drifty kind of shit and you just want a PSM for the positioning, um, lean on the 47 SMTD and the TGM F-18. Now these planes they have problems with deceleration before you even start, but I think that the way that you play, it's going to help you out a lot more than learning how to drift 37 or stuff like that. Because the way that I see it, you want a PSM first, PSM fast, and PSM super aggressive, which is fine. I'm just saying it's just different. Number two, whenever you're trying to engage someone for PSM, you don't always want to be at low speed when you engage them at first. You want to at least vary it up sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want to blow right past them, let them lose all their energy first. Sometimes you want to PSM before they do in the first place, which is fine. But I'm just letting you know that the way when you start these engagements is also really important. Because if you just let somebody get to you right out of the gate, it's going to be really hard to snowball mentally. So that's like a huge part of it. So using those different planes and varying your startup. And another thing that I notice is when you boost, you also need to think about where you're going to end up when you're done with that boost and how to use that boost to stay away from people. The thing is, when I boost away from someone and I want to see what they're doing, they will be pointing at me, but I will be mid boost doing a loop, right? Or doing something to where they can't really get an even shot on me because their missile's going to have to spin to hit me, right? If I want to watch what someone is doing while defending, that's what I do. I loop around and I come back into them, usually. Because going away from them means that you're just giving them what they want. It's just the way that I normally play. But I'm just letting you know that your boost, where you end up, matters just as much as when you do it and your timing. Or, well, yeah, just basically when you do it. When you're fighting someone, I want you to pay attention to where you're going to end up as soon as your boost is done, if that makes sense. But that's like something you can iron out later beyond the three planes that I recommended and the initial fights. Um, I don't really see much else in terms of anything problematic. Your missile placement is fine. You know how to use them. You know what I mean? Uh, it's just a very aggressive playstyle. I think you would benefit from those planes more than anything else. Other than that, like I don't see any terrible play here, other than anything I don't really see anything too out of the ordinary that needs to be fixed other than plane choice and the initial fights and learning where you end up after boosts. What you're hearing boiled down to your plane does not match the way you play. Full stop. That and you're getting beat up. The reason you're losing here is because number one, Rom knows where to end up when they're done boosting. You don't. Just flat stop. Two, when you there is a concept of boosting into the wrong spot, and that's what you're doing here. That's what gets you hit a lot of the times. Being too slow and being in the wrong spot gets you hit way too much. But that's honestly that's like a pet peeve. That's more me just pecking at you, you know. That's something that'll get fixed later on. But I'm gonna say for the last time, plane choice, initial turn fight and or turn fight PSM boost, whatever. Make sure you figure that out and learn where you're gonna end up after your boosts. And that's pretty much all you really have to work on. You have any questions before I end the stream? At least go play some Call of Duty or something. Miscellaneous question: is the Wyvern worth to use or not really? The Wyvern is quite literally one of, if not the most stable platforms for high-speed PSM fighting. You have you have like the best high G to turn ratio in the game, pretty much. Your PSM is ridiculously stable. For example, if you PSM with a 57 and you're pointing upwards, your plane, when you stall out eventually or inevitably, it will like jut down really hard and just shunt the whole plane straight downward in a stall. You do that in like an XO2, it'll just like shove you down a little bit, kind of like how the 37 does. So even stalling out in it, even though it's stable and you shouldn't, isn't that big of a deal. Compared to when someone's above you, you're trying to PLSL them and your plane just stalls out because you screwed up and it just jumps downwards and now they're right back on you. For special weapons off at least. It's quite literally the best plane for special weapons off, barring the contender of the ADF-11F. And the only reason the ADF-11F is a contender is because it has the PLSL gun. The best planes for special weapons off is the Wyvern, ADF-11, the Su-35S. Yeah, that's really about it. Those are the best planes. Mm. Why don't people use the Wyvern a lot of the time then? Because 4M is dog shit. It's really bad. And they want to be like, oh my god, the Wyvern's a crutch. It's not really. You can keep up with super planes when you're in some 37. I do it all the time. And yeah, 4M is kind of shit. It's kind of an unwritten rule. I guess so. You don't find a lot of Wyvern mains out there that do special weapons off. It's kind of taboo. It's kind of like, oh, you're bringing the super plane. It's who cares? Who gives a fuck? If I was going up against the Wyvern and special weapons off, I'd be like, damn, this dude's really, shitting on me. So so if he steps up, I'm gonna step up into a little bit of a faster plane too. Probably, I would probably take the 35S against that, and I would feel very comfortable. The 37, you would get beat, and you can literally be too slow to do anything about it. So I wouldn't feel too bad about that sort of thing. All right, Sen, you have any questions while we're here, or if you had any videos for me to watch? Why is that cup so huge? It's all. I'm diabetic, which means that my body filters out sugar through my kidneys, and in order to do that, I need to be stay hydrated with a lot of water. So this jug right here is solely water. I never put soda in here ever. It's like a cardinal sin for me. So I put water in here and I just sip on it all day. And whenever I run out, I go get more water. So it's literally just staying hydrated. It's no big deal. Yeah, it's just bad timing. Too slow. That's why I like to stay at the high end of the PSM table, where like 499 or so, you can get hit by shit like that. You can just see how slow through the PSM it is. Look at how slow it is coming out. Around here is the point you wouldn't want to be pointing at them. You want to be off to their side boosting away. Too late. Dead. Chad Watermains, yeah. Any more questions? Yeah, if you don't know, you want to be boosting like before they come to you. Nah, enjoy COD. All right. Well, I'm always on Discord. You all can come find me. Just at me whenever. I was off watching Dragon Ball Z, so I mean it is what it is. I'm gonna go play Call of Duty. If you want me on, or if you want another match, just let me know. Or you know what? I could pull up the match that I recorded against. I could go pull up that match against Rom, where I got fucked up more or less. Somebody added me or messaged me. Chilled. Fuck off. Oh.
Stupid! Get out of here! Fuck you!
All right, let's see if this hooks. Yeah, let's see if this hooks. I don't want to end the stream just yet. This is rare. I usually want to keep it going, but what I want to do instead is capture display? No. Window capture? No. But I want another window capture. Window capture to, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Are you stupid?
Oh, I gotta lower this. Move it over here. Window capture to. Properties. Wow, is it not just capping it? That's so weird. Weird. Okay. Yeah, so let's go to the movies that I got. Where the fuck is Ace Combat? Scamper, scamper. Rare cop moment? Yeah. Yeah, here's where I get fucked up because I haven't played in a while. This one's really nice. Yeah, I want to backwards fly here. I don't want to get too close. I don't feel like it. I'm already down a missile hit, so see here I overboost. I end up in the wrong fucking spot. You can tell that I do. Overboost, and I fuck it up completely. See, look at this. If I was only a little bit faster, perfect. Look at that. Cringe. Cringe. But the movement's really nice. Yeah, here I'm being really risky. I want to shoot you so bad. I fuck up here. I flare because, you know. I'm so slow. Look at me. I haven't played it so long. But this is basically what happened after the other stream ended. And my internet wasn't doing too well. So I was like, you know what? Instead of just telling you this bullshit you already know, let's just do a match. I think you'll learn a lot more than that from that. You can just see how troublesome it is, though, when you're trying to fight somebody who has really good movement. Right there, I drugged them out of the fur ball into a looped data link missile. How do you boost so fast like that? I just cancel it and do it again. Again, you have to remember, it's not me out boosting someone, it's me out positioning someone. There I fuck up. And I was already at 75%, so I'm not that worried about it. But you also see how it's not only purely backwards flying. You get what I mean? If I fuck up, I can do another PSM to account for that mess up and basically turn something that would instantly get me killed into something that at least gives me a chance of further playing more. See, like right here, I know he's going to shoot, right? This is something where I fucking set up, right? He already kills me, blah blah. Alright. So get this. I see where Rom is. I want to go shoot them. I shoot here because I just want them to know where I'm at on radar so we can go ahead and start. So I PSM here, but you see how I PSM to where I'm completely away from their nose, right? I'm completely away from those. I'm safe to do it here. I shoot here because we're kind of aligned, you know. So I'm fucked up here. You see where he's at? He's going to shoot me if he yaws a little bit to the right. So I start a PSM because I already know where he's going to be. What I want to do here is I want to point my nose away and come back around. But I fuck up again. I'm at 66 airspeed, but they don't have enough pitch authority to nose onto me. So what I do is I can stall and let them on me, or I can continue to chain the PSM and hold on to it, which is what I do. I hold on to the PSM, I boost away immediately. By the time they correct, I'm already out of there. See? I'm like, fuck this noise. And then I come back around, I end the boost, look where I'm at. You see where I'm at? Now, I fuck up here, they were off the angle, I should have been faster, but I'm not. Again, this is showing you how fucking really rusty I am. I'm all trying to PSM here, I can't do it, because I haven't played in a while, so. I'm really low to the ground, I don't really care. I'm just trying to get right on someone's rear. You see how by the time Rom shoots, I'm not there anymore. I'm not there anymore. I'm already gone. So. I was trying to do to Rom what he did to me. Just shoot him in the face. I wasn't able to. Because I'm so slow here. In terms of like shooting. Yeah, the difference is that I have years of experience doing this, so it's kind of expected for me. And it kind of doesn't matter if I can't really hit the person that I'm trying to fight, so. You see what I did here? I was like, fuck no, I'm gonna stay up here. I'm gonna keep fighting you up here. You see how like I make a lot of their shots not matter? You get what I mean? Because I see where you're trying to end up, and I'm not going to try and let it happen. If I have something to say about it. About to get behind me? Hell no. I'm not letting that happen. I'm going to cancel it again. Do it again. Fuck you. More gun hits. You know? PSM again before they can get behind me. You see what I'm trying to do here, but I don't have the time to do it. Because I've already wasted enough of it. You see how awkward it is to try and smack me? Yeah, that was like backwards flow. I like flew straight into it, so it's no excuse. Trying to be aggressive in the match and I end up eating shit for it. The other games I get fucked up really bad, but that's because like I said, I'm rusty as fuck. I haven't played in a while. And that's pretty much how all the games go, more or less. But either way, regardless, I think that's it for me for now. So what I'm going to end up doing is pretty much just cutting the stream off right here. Yeah, then I got slapped. It was more like a 2-3 or whatever. 2-1, I don't remember. But honestly, I didn't really give a fuck too much about winning. I just wanted to show them what the movement was like from whenever you're fighting someone who's played a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'm gonna go play COD. Y'all have a good one. Oh, and if you have any videos